Hey, this is Damon Johnson of DJ Realty Solutions, and today I'm going to talk about the home buying process. I'm going to go over the steps into buying your first home or maybe your second home. I'm also going to give you some tips and tricks of what to do during that process. So I advise you to take some notes, buckle up, and let's get ready. First thing I want you to do your research. A lot of people think that they want to buy a home, but they haven't looked at the type of home they want. They haven't looked at any type of area. They haven't looked at their budget. So what I want you to do, first of all, is figure out how much money you want to spend on this home. How long do you plan on staying in a home? People usually stay in a home 5 to 10 years and then they're looking for something else, or they do a refinance. So you need to know how much you're going to spend, where you want the home to be, and what type of home you want. There's condos, townhomes, ranches, colonials, large estates. There are many number of homes that you can buy, but you have to figure out what type of home best suits your needs. The second step, find a realtor. Ting! It doesn't have to be me, but I'm hoping it will be. I want you to find a realtor that you trust. You either ask your friends, family. What your realtor's job is to do is to help you to find the home that fits your needs, go through the paperwork and steps with you, and also to timeline out when you want to buy the home, get it into underwriting through all the process, and ultimately close and move into that home. The next step is your pre-approval. Now, this is key. A lot of people go on Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, and the other home search websites, and they have no idea what they can afford. You may psych yourself out of thinking, I can't afford this home, but you can. What you have to do for your pre-approval is going to be what's called a LO, a loan officer, or a broker. They're going to have you fill out what's called a 1003 or a loan application, and then they're going to pull your credit, your income, your taxes, if you own a business, those business taxes, and they're going to come up with an amount that you can afford for your home. Generally, it's about $150,000 to $300,000. If you go over that, then more power to you. But generally, people fall between the $100,000 to $300,000 range. Now, this is key. Let's say you're pre-approved for $250,000. That doesn't mean you have to spend that whole $250,000. If you want to say, hey Damon, I kind of want to stay in the $150,000, $175,000 range, I'll say great. That gives you a little bit of wiggle room in case the home needs repairs, you need money for closing, and fees or whatnot. Once we have your pre-approval in place, we have the area for which you want to buy the home. We're going to go out and actually shop for the home. Now, usually I send out an email. It comes to you every morning that'll have a list of homes that fit your criteria. What you're going to do, you're going to open that email up and you're going to see some homes on there that you like. You're going to send that email back to me. The realtor, me, will schedule those homes for us to see. When we go visit the homes, I usually give my clients a checklist of things to look for in the home. We test the water, we see what the neighborhood looks like, if it has the things that you want in the home. Visit the home 2 or 3 times. You want to see it during the day, you want to see it at night. Because a lot of homes that people see when they get off work, they look dark, you can't really see things. That's why I advise going out during the day as well, because you can get a feel for the neighborhood. Then what we do is we write an offer for the home. I have what's called a purchase agreement. We'll go through, we'll offer, let's say the home, I'm using the 250 reference, let's say we're going to offer 235. We're going to submit that purchase agreement to the other agent. They review it, make sure that you can afford the home. That's why we send the pre-approval over with the offer. They'll email me back and say, hey Damon, your offer's too low, it's just right, we have other offers, we'll let you know. Hopefully the offer gets accepted. When the offer gets accepted, the other agent will email me back and say, hey, your offer has been accepted. At that point, what I would need from you is called an earnest money deposit, or EMD. The EMD is usually 1% of the agreed upon purchase price of the home. So what you do is you write me a check out for the EMD, and I give that check to my broker, who deposits it into an escrow account. That money sits there until we close on the home. The next step you're going to do is your loan officer who gave you the pre-approval letter is going to contact you with a list of items or conditions, as we call them in the industry. These conditions are things that you have to turn in for your loan to get into underwriting. They may ask you if you had an eviction, if you had a bankruptcy, are you expecting a bonus from your job this year? How much did you make last year? The process can be a little bit tedious and you may get frustrated at this point, but I'm asking you to hold on because your LO and myself, we're all working for you to make sure that you get the best deal that you can. Your loan officer is also going to make sure you're in the correct loan program. Some popular loan programs are conventional loans, FHA loans, VA loans. You got an FHA 203K, which is kind of a loan that gives you a little bit of leeway if the home needs some fixing up. You can also purchase a home cash, which I had a couple of people do that as well. As you know, cash is king. Your underwriter is going to be the next person who's going to reach out to you. This person makes sure that all your conditions are met. They're also going to get in touch with your title person. And you may say, Damon, what is title? Title's job is to make sure that that home is available for sale. You wouldn't believe the number of cases where I've went out with clients, we've put an offer in the home, we went to go order title, and the person who was selling the home can't sell the home. Companies own the home. You have home improvement companies where the client has taken out a loan that they forgot about, they didn't pay, and what sometimes happens is it gets sold from up underneath them and they don't know. It's sad, but it happens. That's why I like to order title kind of towards the beginning, middle of the road of the process, so that we know that the home is free and clear, it's warranty and deeded into the person's name who's trying to sell it. Now, title is going to ask you for some paperwork as well. If you're married and you have like two people that are on the loan, they may ask for your marriage certificate. They may ask for bills or paperwork that's in you and your spouse's name jointly. If you're married and only one of you is going on the loan, they may still ask for the paperwork for both of you, just to make sure that the deed, when the sale is complete, goes into the right spouse's name. You also have to worry about the taxes on the home. Title does that as well. They'll contact the city or municipality that the home is in to make sure that no back taxes are owed on the property. Title is going to be key towards the end of this process because they do a lot of the leg work that the realtor and the LO can't do. They have the relationships with the counties, the cities, and the government to make sure that this home actually has no taxes owed on it, that it is listed in where the lot is supposed to be, that no work is being done on the home at the time of purchase. So you don't want to skip the title step. So I have people who ask, well, Damon, how much is title? What should I be looking for? Title usually runs about $1,000 to $2,000 total, but it's money very well spent. At this point of the process, you're getting close to closing. This is the exciting part. Now, closing is going to contact you as well. This would be usually through the same mortgage company that your LO works for. All these people work for the LO, but it's all on the same team, which is the team that's going to help you to close. Closing will tell you how much the home is going to cost to close. They're going to tell you what day and time you're going to close, and they're also going to want you to do a final walkthrough through the home. Now, your final walkthrough will be yourself and me, your realtor. What we're going to do at the final walkthrough, we're going to go through the home. We're going to make sure that the appliances are still there, the ceiling fans are still there, the floors are in good shape still. Because sometimes when people move out, they ding things get scratched, they don't even know about. So it's up to your realtor to go through with you, and we go through with our checklist and we make sure that everything is intact. If it's a garage, we check the garage. We check the basement, upstairs, all bedrooms, appliances, windows, and that such. I did a walkthrough one time before and I missed a window, but thank goodness my client didn't. It was a master bedroom window that had a crack in it and I didn't see it because the curtains were closed. I opened up the top of the curtain and I didn't see it, but my client came behind me with the same checklist, opened the window and caught it. We were able to get that window paid for it. If we didn't do that final walkthrough, we would have missed that broken window. So I was really happy to do the final walkthrough. Now you're getting ready to close. So closing is going to contact you again. At this point, you're going to receive a number of emails, and we're all going to be CC'd on the email. It'll be myself, you, title, closer, and the LO. They're going to suggest some dates that you want to close on, and closings can only happen Monday through Friday. I know that people say, oh, I want to do a Saturday close. I've heard that it can happen. Not to my knowledge. You have to close Monday through Friday because the loan has to fund through the bank mortgage company, and banks generally aren't open on the weekend, only for like in-office transactions. But for a major purchase like a home, it has to be done through the week. So they're going to reach out to you, and then everybody agrees upon a day in which to meet. Usually the closing is held at the title office, and everybody gets together and all the docs are brought to you at that point. But you will receive docs 3 days earlier than the day we were closing. So let's say we were closing on a Thursday, you would have probably gotten your docs that Friday, that Monday at the latest. This is called a cooling off period. It lets you go through the docs and make sure that the numbers match up to what you were first told you have to bring to closing. Because at closing, you have to bring a cashier's check. I know we've all heard the horror stories of people bringing bags of money to closing, and yes, it does happen. So you have to get a cashier's check from a bank in the amount that the title company and closers tell you what to bring. So that way it's not a shock to your system when you see the number. You're going to bring that cashier's check to closing along with a picture ID. Usually it's your driver's license. If you don't have it, please let your realtor know beforehand, because some title companies will accept a valid passport. But we all prefer to have a valid driver's license, because you won't believe it, I've had some closings that fell on people's birthdays and they forgot to get their license renewed, and we couldn't close because the license was expired. So make sure that your license is valid, come with the cashier's check. Then you're going to sit down at a table, and your closer is going to present the docs to you. He or she will go through the docs one at a time, and they're going to ask you, have you seen this before? Is this the right address? Is this the right dollar amount? Is this the right purchase price? Did somebody go over these numbers with you? And you're going to say yes, because your LO and closer are going to go with you through the numbers way beforehand. Like I said, you get 3 days to look at everything, but they usually like to start like a week out before you're going to close, just to make sure that the numbers match up. Now, during the closing, you're going to have insurance on the home. Now, this has changed in the last year or so. You have to get a year's worth of insurance on the home. I know it's not fair, but that's what happens. They want to be able to make sure that your home is going to be protected, because you're taking out a large amount of money to buy the home. So you have to have insurance on the home before you close. You also have to make sure that the water bill is paid. Now, your realtor will help you out with that, because they're going to order the final water bill before you move into the home. The water bill usually is at the closing, so that way your closing costs match the water bill, so you don't have to move in only the bill. You also will get keys to the home, any alarm codes, garage openers, and things of that such, because you're going to probably get those changed over. I always recommend to my clients, after you move in and the movers have left and you're getting situated, get the alarm changed, get the locks changed, because the home has been on the market for a month or so, and every realtor in town has seen that home. People have the code to your home, or people have made a copy of a key, and you don't want that. You want to make sure that you get your alarm set, you want to make sure you get your keys changed, and program the garage code that matches the code in your car. You also want to make sure that your mailing address has been changed. You wouldn't believe the times that people forget to get their old address changed to the new address. It's not an instantaneous process. You have to go down to the post office and fill out that little postcard and tell them, hey, I'm moving, and you turn that in, and I want to say it takes about 5 to 7 days for your mail to start arriving at your new address. I know this was a lot of information. I'm going to put out a series of videos that's going to go over each step, but I want you to make sure that you have these steps in order before you go to look at your home. Here's hoping that your open house will close soon. Bye, everybody.